All right, so you're getting ready for an animal groomer interview. That's awesome. We've got all your RoleCatcher resources right here.
Group.
Career guides, sample interview questions, and even some info on their AI tools. Let's dive into all this and get you ready to really impress.
Yeah, it's more than just, loving animals.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to uncover the skills and insights that transform you from just a passionate pet person into a top-notch groomer in the eyes of a hiring manager.
I love that perspective. All right, so first things first, the RoleCatcher Career Guide really paints this detailed picture of what an animal groomer actually does. It's not all fluffy puppies and, cute haircuts, is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Think of it as a blend of animal care expertise, customer service finesse, and even a dash of business sense, especially if you're considering going solo down the line.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, okay, let's unpack that a bit. The career guide mentions different career stages, from assistant all the way up to salon owner.
Right.
How can someone use that to their advantage in an interview?
Um, Even if you're just starting out, demonstrating ambition and a vision for your future in the field is key.
Okay.
Mentioning potential goals like becoming a master groomer or specializing in a specific breed shows you're serious about this as a career, not just a job.
Absolutely. That's such a good point. Speaking of standing out, let's dive into some of those sample interview questions that RoleCatcher provides.
hmm
I think a lot of people get tripped up by the seemingly simple ones like, what inspired you to pursue this career?
Yeah, it's an easy one to stumble on if you're not prepared.
Right.
Instead of just giving the generic "I love animals" response, try connecting your personal story to something specific you find fascinating about grooming. The artistry of creative cuts the meticulousness of breed standards, or even the impact grooming has on an animal's overall well-being.
Yeah, I like that. So instead of just saying, I've always loved dogs, I could say, I've always been amazed by how a good groom can completely transform a dog's look and even improve their health and confidence.
Exactly. It shows you've thought beyond the surface level and connected your passion to the actual work involved.
Right. Now imagine they follow up with, tell me about a time you had to handle a difficult animal during grooming.
Uh-oh.
How would you approach that one?
Safety first, right? The Role Catcher Guide really emphasizes that.
Absolutely. You want to showcase your knowledge of safe handling techniques,
Right?
like using muzzles when necessary or working with a partner for restraint,
Yeah.
but also highlight your approach prioritizing calm and positive reinforcement over force.
Right. It's about demonstrating that I can stay cool under pressure, but still making sure that the animal is safe and comfortable.
Exactly.
Maybe I could say something like, I always try to de-escalate the situation by speaking calmly, using gentle movements, and offering treats or praise. If the animal continues to struggle, I know when to involve a partner for assistance and how to use tools like muzzles safely and effectively.
Excellent. You've showcased both your technical skills and your commitment to ethical handling practices.
Yes.
That's a winning combination in any grooming interview.
Okay, this is great. I'm feeling more prepared already.
Yeah.
What's the next question we should tackle? Let's look at one that focuses on professional development. How do you stay up to date with the latest grooming techniques and trends?
Ooh, okay. This is where I shine as a lifelong learner. The RoleCatcher Career Guide mentions resources like professional associations, trade publications, even online courses.
Yeah, name dropping those resources is a great start, but take it a step further. Mention specific associations or publications you follow,
Okay.
workshops you've attended, or techniques you're excited to learn.
Right. So instead of just saying I read industry magazines, I could say I'm a member of the National Dog Groomers Association of America and recently attended their workshop on breed-specific grooming techniques. I also subscribe to Groomer magazine to stay informed about new products and industry best practices.
Perfect. You've demonstrated that you're actively engaged in professional development and committed to staying at the forefront of the field. Now, how about a question that really tests your knowledge? We're seeing a growing demand for natural grooming products. What are your thoughts on this trend?
This is where that RoleCatcher Career Guide comes in handy again.
Yeah.
It mentioned this trend toward natural and organic products.
It did, but think beyond just acknowledging the trend. Why are pet owners increasingly choosing natural products? What benefits do those products offer, and how do they align with your own grooming philosophy?
Okay, I see. So I could say something like, I think it's a positive trend driven by pet owners becoming more aware of the ingredients in grooming products and their potential impact on their pet's health and well-being. Natural products often contain fewer harsh chemicals and are gentler on sensitive skin, which aligns with my own focus on providing the safest and most comfortable grooming experience possible.
Excellent. You've showcased your knowledge of the trend, connected it to a larger consumer awareness movement, and highlighted how it aligns with your own values as a groomer. That's what makes a memorable answer.
This is making me realize how much more there is to interviewing than just, rehearsing canned answers. It's about showcasing your knowledge, your personality, and your genuine passion for the field.
You're getting it. Now, let's say they hit you with this one. How do you handle a client who's unhappy with the grooming service? Remember, you're dealing with people just as much as you're dealing with animals.
Right. Okay, deep breaths. I want to show that I can handle a tricky situation with grace and professionalism.
Exactly. Focus on active listening, empathy, and finding solutions that satisfy both the client and ensure the animal's well-being. Mention specific techniques you use to de-escalate situations and resolve conflicts.
Right. I could say something like, I would first apologize to the client and let them know that I understand their concerns. I had then asked them to explain specifically what they're unhappy with so I can fully understand the situation. Once I have a clear understanding of their concerns, I would explain the steps I took during the grooming process and offer potential solutions such as making adjustments to the groom or offering a discount on a future service. My ultimate goal is to ensure both the client and their pet are happy and satisfied.
That's a great approach. You've demonstrated your commitment to customer service, your ability to handle difficult conversations, and your willingness to find solutions that benefit everyone involved.
This is so helpful. I'm starting to feel much more confident about tackling those interview questions. But before we move on to more questions, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier, RoleCatcher's AI tools.
Okay.
Tell me more about this Copilot AI thing.
It's like having a personalized career coach in your pocket, especially when it comes to interview prep.
Okay.
Imagine an AI that analyzes the specific job description you're targeting and then helps you tailor your answers to highlight the most relevant skills and experiences.
Okay, that sounds amazing. So it's not just about giving me generic interview tips. It's about helping me craft answers that are specifically aligned with what that particular employer is looking for.
Exactly. Copilot AI can even analyze your practice answers and provide feedback on things like your clarity, your conciseness, and even your use of keywords that might catch the interviewer's attention.
Wow, that takes all the guesswork out of interview preparation. So it's like having a secret weapon to make sure my answers are on point.
It's all about giving you that extra hedge and helping you stand out from the competition. Now, are you ready to tackle a few more of those sample interview questions? We've got plenty more to cover.
Let's do it. I'm feeling ready to take on anything they throw my way.
That's the spirit. How about this one? What are your salary expectations? This is a tricky one that trips a lot of people up.
Ugh, I hate talking about money. I never know what to say.
I understand it can be awkward, but remember, it's a standard question and they expect you to have an answer. The RoleCatcher Career Guide actually has some good tips on salary negotiation.
Oh, that's good to know. What are some of the key things to keep in mind?
First, do your research. Use websites like Glassdoor or Salary.com to get a sense of the average salary for animal groomers in your area. Consider your experience level, any specialized skills you have, and the cost of living in your location.
Right. Wouldn't want to undersell myself or price myself out of the running.
Exactly. And when they ask about your salary expectations, be honest, but also flexible.
Okay.
You could say something like, based on my research and experience, I'm looking for a salary in the range of insert your desired range. However, I'm open to discussing the specifics based on the overall compensation package and the responsibilities of the role.
That sounds much better than just throwing out a random number.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it shows that I've done my homework and that I'm open to negotiation.
Now let's say they ask, why should we hire you?
Uh-oh.
This is your chance to really sell yourself and highlight what makes you unique.
Okay. I'm ready for my elevator pitch. What are some key points I should focus on?
Think back to the job description and identify the skills and qualities they're looking for. Then highlight the experiences and accomplishments that demonstrate those skills.
Right. It's about connecting the dots between what they need and what I bring to the table.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to showcase your enthusiasm for the role and your passion for working with animals.
Okay, so I could say something like, I'm a highly motivated and experienced groomer with a proven track record of providing exceptional care to animals and delivering outstanding customer service. I'm also a quick learner, passionate about staying up to date on the latest grooming techniques, and eager to contribute my skills to your team.
Perfect. You've confidently articulated your qualifications, your enthusiasm for the field, and your eagerness to be part of their team. Now, are you ready for another challenging question?
Bring it on. I'm feeling unstoppable now.
All right, let's see. How about this one? Tell me about a time you went above and beyond for a client. This is your chance to showcase your dedication to customer satisfaction and your willingness to go the extra mile.
Okay, let me think. I once had a client whose dog was extremely anxious about being groomed. I spent extra time with the dog using calming techniques and lots of positive reinforcement. I even stayed late to finish the groom so the dog wouldn't have to come back another day.
That's a great example. It demonstrates your patience, your compassion, and your commitment to providing a positive experience for both the animal and its owner.
Absolutely.
Now let's look at a question that might seem a bit unexpected. What are your thoughts on the use of technology in the animal grooming industry?
Ooh, that's interesting. The RoleCatcher Career Guide did mention advancements like electric clippers, specialized grooming tables, and even online booking systems.
Exactly. This question is an opportunity to demonstrate your awareness of industry trends and your willingness to embrace new technologies that can improve efficiency, safety, and the overall grooming experience.
I see. So I could talk about how technology can streamline appointment scheduling, enhance communication with clients, or even provide access to specialized grooming tools for different breeds and coat types.
Excellent points. You're showcasing your understanding of how technology can be leveraged to enhance various aspects of the grooming process.
This is making me think about how much the animal grooming industry is evolving.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about scissors and shampoo anymore.
You're absolutely right. Staying informed about new developments and embracing a growth mindset is essential for success in this dynamic field.
I'm feeling so much more confident and prepared now.
That's great to hear.
But before we move on, I have a question for you.
Of course. What's on your mind?
We've talked a lot about showcasing skills and experience, but what about those personal qualities that make someone a great animal groomer? What would you say those are?
That's a fantastic question. Beyond the technical skills, I'd say the most important qualities are patience, compassion, a gentle touch, and a genuine love for animals.
Those are all qualities I possess and am eager to express during the interview.
That's wonderful to hear. Remember, your passion for animals will shine through, and that's something that can't be taught. Now, are you ready for a few more practice questions?
Let's do it. I'm feeling unstoppable now.
Okay, here's one that focuses on teamwork.
Hmm.
Tell me about a time you had to collaborate with others to achieve a goal.
A classic teamwork question. I could talk about a time I worked with other groomers to handle a particularly busy day, maybe assisting each other with tasks or sharing tips and techniques.
Great example. It highlights your ability to cooperate, communicate effectively, and contribute to a positive team dynamic.
Right. I could even mention how I learned something new from a colleague or how we supported each other to ensure all the animals received excellent care.
Perfect. You're demonstrating that you value collaboration and are willing to both contribute to and learn from a team environment.
I'm realizing that a lot of these interview questions are interconnected.
Mhm.
They're all different ways of assessing my skills, personality, and how I'd fit into their team.
You're exactly right. The interviewer is trying to get a holistic picture of you as a candidate. Now let's look at a question that focuses on problem solving. Describe a time you had to make a difficult decision at work.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'd need to think of a situation where I had to weigh different options and make a judgment call based on the information available.
Exactly. It could be something like deciding whether to groom a dog that seemed anxious or determining the best course of action for a matted coat. Focus on how you gathered information, considered the potential consequences, and ultimately made a decision that prioritized the animal's well-being.
I can even mention how I communicated my decision to the owner, explaining my reasoning and addressing any concerns they might have.
That's a great point. It shows you're not just making decisions in isolation, but you're also communicating effectively and building trust with clients.
This is all so helpful. I'm feeling much more confident in my ability to articulate my experiences and showcase my skills. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's AI tools one last time.
Of course. What would you like to know?
I'm curious about how RoleCatcher's AI actually works. How does it analyze job descriptions and tailor application materials? It sounds almost magical.
It's not magic, but it's definitely impressive technology. Essentially, RoleCatcher's AI uses natural language processing to scan job descriptions and identify keywords related to skills, experience, and qualifications.
So it's like a superpowered search engine that understands the language of job descriptions.
Exactly. Then it compares those keywords to your resume, cover letter, and even your practice interview answers.
I see. So it can tell me if my materials are highlighting the right things and if my responses are addressing the specific requirements of the job.
Precisely. It's like having a personal editor and career coach combined into one powerful tool.
That's incredible. It takes the guesswork out of tailoring my application materials and ensures I'm putting my best foot forward.
It's all about giving you that competitive edge and helping you stand out from the crowd. Now, are you ready for a few more practice questions before we move on?
Absolutely. I'm feeling like I can handle anything now.
All right, let's see. How about this one? How would you describe your communication style?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'd want to highlight my ability to communicate clearly, concisely, and empathetically, especially when it comes to explaining procedures to pet owners and addressing any concerns they might have.
Excellent. You could even mention specific techniques you use,
Right.
like active listening, using non-technical language, and confirming understanding to ensure everyone is on the same page.
Right. It's all about building trust and rapport with both the animals and their owners.
Exactly. Now let's look at a question that focuses on your ability to handle stress. How do you manage stress in a fast-paced environment?
Ooh, that's a relevant one for a busy grooming salon.
Yeah.
I could talk about techniques like prioritizing tasks, taking short breaks when needed, and focusing on one task at a time to avoid feeling overwhelmed.
Great strategies. You could even mention practices like deep breathing exercises or mindfulness techniques that help you stay calm and focused under pressure.
I like those ideas. It's important to show that I have healthy coping mechanisms for dealing with the demands of the job.
Absolutely. Employers want to see that you can handle stress effectively and maintain a positive attitude, even in challenging situations.
This is all making so much sense. I'm starting to see how each interview question is an opportunity to showcase not only my skills, but also my personality and work ethic.
You're absolutely right. The interview process is about finding the right fit for both you and the employer. It's a chance for them to assess your qualifications and for you to determine if this is the right environment for you to thrive.
This is incredibly empowering. I'm feeling much more confident, prepared to approach that interview as my authentic self, armed with the knowledge and insights we've discussed today.
That's the perfect attitude to have. Remember, your passion for animals will shine through, and with the preparation you've done, you'll be ready to answer any question that comes your way.
I'm so grateful for your guidance and insights. I feel like I've gained a whole new level of understanding about the animal grooming profession and what it takes to succeed. But we've covered a lot of ground already. Should we pick this back up in part 2?
Let's do it. We still got plenty of ground to cover, including some tips for those tricky behavioral questions and some deeper insights into how to use RoleCatcher's AI to truly shine in that interview.
Sounds good. I'm excited to continue our deep dive.
Me too.
Okay.
All right, so let's jump back into those interview questions.
Okay, I'm ready for more.
Yeah.
Those behavioral questions, the ones that ask you to tell a story, they always trip me up.
Yeah.
Any advice?
Those are all about showcasing your skills in action using real examples.
Right.
The key is to structure your answers using the STAR method.
STAR method. Tell me more.
So it stands for situation, task, action, and result.
Okay.
It helps you tell a concise and impactful story. First, you set the scene. Briefly describe the situation.
Okay.
Then, what was your task or challenge in that situation? Next, explain the specific actions you took. And finally, what was the result of your actions?
So instead of rambling, I have a framework to make my point clearly and quickly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's say they ask, tell me about a time you had to deal with a stressful situation at work. Think of a specific instance, like maybe the salon was short-staffed, or you had multiple demanding clients at once.
Okay, I got one. We had a power outage right in the middle of a busy afternoon. Clients were getting impatient, animals were getting restless. It was chaos.
Perfect. Now walk me through that scenario using the STAR method.
Okay, so the situation was a power outage during peak hours.
Okay.
My task was to keep things running smoothly and ensure the safety and well-being of the animals and clients.
Mm-hmm.
The action I took was to first calm everyone down,
Yeah.
and explain the situation.
Right.
Then I used battery-powered clippers to finish up the grooms that were already in progress and rescheduled appointments for those who could wait.
Okay.
The result was that even though it was a stressful situation, we managed to keep things under control,
Yeah.
and most clients were understanding and appreciative of our efforts.
That's a great example. You clearly demonstrated your problem-solving skills, your ability to adapt to unexpected challenges, and your commitment to customer service, all within a concise and impactful story. See how the STAR method helps bring your experiences to life and showcase your skills in a way that resonates with the interviewer.
Absolutely. It's like a formula for interview success.
Right.
Now, I know we talked about RoleCatcher's AI being able to analyze job descriptions,
Right.
but can it actually help me with these behavioral questions too?
It can. Remember how we talked about Copilot AI tailoring your answers?
Right.
Well, it can analyze those behavioral questions and suggest relevant examples from your past experiences that align with the specific skills and qualities the employer is looking for.
Oh, okay. So it's like having an AI brainstorming partner
Hmm.
to help me come up with the best possible stories to tell.
Exactly. It can also provide feedback on your delivery, suggesting ways to make your stories more engaging and impactful. Remember, it's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it.
Right. This AI is starting to sound like a must-have for anyone prepping for an interview.
It's definitely a valuable tool. Okay, back to those questions. Let's switch gears a bit. What are your long-term career goals? This one is all about ambition and vision.
Ooh, okay. This is where I can talk about potentially specializing in a certain breed or maybe even opening my own salon someday, right?
Exactly. The RoleCatcher Career Guide outlines those as potential paths.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you've thought about your future in this field, but also connect it back to learning. Mention your commitment to ongoing education, whether it's attending workshops, getting certifications, or staying abreast of industry trends.
So I could say something like, my long-term goal is to become a certified master groomer, specializing in poodles. I'm fascinated by the breed's unique coat and the artistry involved in grooming them to standard. I'm committed to continually expanding my knowledge and skills to provide the highest level of care for these amazing animals.
Perfect. You've combined your personal aspirations with the dedication to professional growth. Now let's tackle one that often throws people off. Describe a time you had to deal with a difficult client.
Ooh, this is a tricky one. It's all about showing I can handle conflict professionally.
Exactly. Remember, you're not just working with animals, you're dealing with their owners too. Think about a situation where you had to navigate a challenging customer interaction, maybe someone who was unhappy with the service or had unrealistic expectations.
I once had a client who insisted on a specific haircut for their dog, even though the dog's coat, type, and condition weren't suitable for that style.
Okay, great. Now walk me through how you handled that using the STAR method.
Okay, so the situation was a client who wanted a haircut that wasn't appropriate for their dog.
Okay.
My task was to educate the client about why that style wouldn't work and offer alternative solutions.
Mm-hmm.
The action I took was to first listen attentively to the client's vision.
Okay.
Then I explained why that particular cut wouldn't be flattering or healthy for the dog's coat, showing examples and offering alternative styles that would better suit the dog's needs.
Mm.
The result was that while initially disappointed, the client appreciated my expertise and concern for their pet. They agreed to a different style that looked great and kept the dog comfortable.
That's a fantastic example. You've demonstrated your communication skills, your ability to manage expectations, and your commitment to both customer satisfaction and animal welfare.
This STAR method is really helpful for structuring those behavioral questions. Yeah. It takes the pressure off trying to remember every detail and helps me focus on the key points.
It's a powerful tool. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about a question that focuses on problem solving. How about, tell me about a time you had to think outside the box to solve a problem at work.
Okay, let me think. Once we had a dog come in for a bath who absolutely hated the sound of the hairdryer.
Oh,
He would get so anxious and stressed that we could barely get the job done.
sounds like a challenge.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Well, I knew we had to find a way to make the drying process less stressful for him. So I did some research and found this technique called towel drying, where you use absorbent towels to remove most of the moisture before using the hairdryer.
That's a great example of thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
What was the outcome?
The towel drying technique worked wonders. The dog was much calmer, and we were able to dry his coat without any stress or anxiety. And the owner was so grateful that we found a solution that worked for their dog. They even told their friends about our creative approach, and we ended up getting several new clients who had dogs with similar sensitivities.
That's a fantastic story. It highlights your problem-solving skills, your willingness to go the extra mile, and your ability to turn a challenging situation into a positive outcome for both the animal and the client. And it showcases your commitment to continuous learning, which is essential in this ever-evolving field. Now, let's say they throw you a curveball. What are your thoughts on the use of certain restraints in grooming?
Ooh, that's a sensitive topic. I know that restraints can be necessary for safety sometimes, but I also believe in using them as a last resort and always prioritizing the animal's well-being.
That's a great starting point.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not about having a right or wrong answer. It's about demonstrating your knowledge of ethical handling practices and your commitment to animal welfare.
Right.
So yeah, just be honest and genuine in your response.
Okay, I could say something like, I believe that restraints should only be used when absolutely necessary for the safety of the animal or the groomer. I always prefer to use positive reinforcement and gentle handling techniques to create a calm and comfortable experience for the animal. And if restraints are necessary, I use them with the utmost care and only for the shortest amount of time possible, constantly monitoring the animal's well-being.
Excellent. You've clearly articulated your stance on restraints, emphasizing your commitment to ethical practices while also acknowledging that they can be a necessary tool in certain situations.
I'm starting to feel so much more prepared for those tough interview questions. It's all about showcasing my knowledge, my skills, and my genuine passion for the well-being of animals.
You've got it.
Yeah.
Now, are you ready for a few more questions?
Bring it on. I'm feeling unstoppable.
All right, let's see. How about this one? What do you consider to be the most important aspects of maintaining a clean and hygienic grooming environment?
Ooh, okay. Hygiene is crucial in a grooming salon.
Yeah,
It's about protecting the health of both the animals and the groomers.
exactly. Think about the specific practices and protocols that are essential for maintaining a sanitary workspace.
Well, regular cleaning and disinfection of all surfaces, tools, and equipment are essential. We should also be washing our hands frequently and using appropriate personal protective equipment, like gloves and masks. Proper ventilation and waste disposal are also crucial to prevent the spread of germs and odors.
Excellent. You've covered the key points. Sanitizing tools and surfaces, personal hygiene, and proper ventilation and waste management. Now, let's say they ask, tell me about a time you had to deal with an unexpected challenge during a groom.
Let me think. One time I was grooming a dog who suddenly started blooding from a small cut on his paw. It wasn't a serious injury, but I knew I had to stop the bleeding and make sure the wound was clean.
That's a great example of an unexpected challenge.
Yeah.
How did you handle the situation?
I immediately stopped the groom and calmly assessed the situation.
Okay.
I applied pressure to the wound to stop the bleeding and then cleaned it with an antiseptic solution. I informed the owner about what happened, explaining that it was a minor cut and that I had taken care of it. I also recommended that they keep an eye on the wound and contact their veterinarian if they had any concerns.
That's a perfect example of how to handle an unexpected situation calmly and professionally.
Okay.
You prioritized the animal's well-being, communicated effectively with the owner, and took appropriate action to address the issue.
I'm realizing that being a successful groomer is about so much more than just knowing how to give a good haircut. It's about problem-solving critical thinking and building trust with both animals and their owners.
You're absolutely right. It's a multifaceted profession that requires a unique blend of technical skills, interpersonal skills, and a genuine love for animals.
This has been incredibly helpful.
Oh.
I'm feeling much more confident and prepared to tackle those interview questions. But before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to touch on something we haven't discussed yet.
Okay.
What are some common misconceptions about the animal grooming profession?
That's a great question. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that it's an easy job.
Yeah.
People often think it's just about playing with puppies and kittens all day.
Right.
But in reality, it's physically demanding, requires a high level of skill and precision, and can be emotionally challenging at times.
That's so true. It's not for the faint of heart.
Another misconception is that groomers don't need much education or training. But the reality is that becoming a skilled and knowledgeable groomer requires ongoing education, whether through formal apprenticeships, certification programs, or workshops and conferences.
Right. It's a profession that demands continuous learning and a commitment to staying up to date with the latest techniques and trends.
And finally, I think some people underestimate the importance of the customer service aspect of the job.
Absolutely. Building rapport with clients, understanding their needs, and communicating effectively are crucial skills for any successful groomer.
Exactly. It's all about creating a positive experience for both the animal and its owner. Okay, ready for a few more questions. On a roll.
Come on. I'm feeling like I can handle anything now.
All right, let's see. How about this one? Tell me about a time you had to go above and beyond to meet a client's specific needs.
Okay. I once had a client whose dog was elderly and had mobility issues.
Okay.
They were really worried about their dog being uncomfortable during the grooming process. So I took extra care to make sure the dog was supported and comfortable, using a special harness to help him stand and taking frequent breaks. I even brought in a soft blanket for him to lie on.
That's a wonderful example of compassion and empathy.
Yeah.
What was the client's reaction?
They were so grateful. They told me that they had been hesitant to bring their dog to a groomer because of age and health issues, but they were so glad they chose our salon.
That's a testament to your ability to create a positive experience for both the animal and its owner. Now let's look at a question that might seem a bit more technical. What are your preferred techniques for dealing with matted fur?
Dealing with matted fur can be tricky.
Yeah.
It's important to assess the severity of the matting and choose the safest and most humane approach.
Exactly. What are some of the techniques you use?
Well, if the matting is minor, I might be able to gently comb or brush it out using a detangling spray.
Okay.
But if the matting is severe or close to the skin, it's often best to shave it off to prevent pain and discomfort for the animal.
That's a sound approach. It's all about prioritizing the animal's well-being and choosing the most appropriate technique for the situation. Now, let's say they ask, tell me about a time you had to make a difficult decision regarding an animal's groom.
Hmm, that's a challenging one. I once had a client who brought in their dog for a show groom, but the dog's coat was in terrible condition. It was matted dry and had a lot of breakage.
Oh,
I
no.
knew that the show groom would require a lot of brushing and styling, which could be painful and damaging to the dog's coat.
That sounds like a tough spot. What did you do?
I had a conversation with the owner, explaining my concerns about the dog's coat condition, and I advised them that a show groom wasn't the best option at that time.
Okay.
Instead, I recommended a shorter haircut that would be more comfortable for the dog and allow the coat to grow back healthier.
That was a brave and responsible decision.
Right.
What was the owner's reaction?
Initially, they were disappointed, but they understood my reasoning and appreciated my honesty and concern for their dog's well-being. We agreed on a shorter haircut, and the dog looked and felt much better afterward.
That's a great example of how to navigate a difficult situation with integrity and professionalism. You prioritized the animal's well-being, communicated effectively with the owner, and found a solution that benefited everyone involved.
These interview scenarios are making me realize just how important communication and empathy are in this profession.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about technical skills. It's about building trust and rapport with both animals and their owners.
You're absolutely right. It's those soft skills that often make the difference between a good groomer and a great one.
I'm feeling so much more prepared and confident now. But before we move on to our final thoughts, I have one more question for you.
Of course. What's on your mind?
We talked a lot about the challenges of the job, but what about the rewards? What do you think are the most fulfilling aspects of being an animal groomer?
That's a wonderful question. For me, it's the combination of working with animals, using my creativity, and making a positive impact on their lives.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
There's something incredibly satisfying about transforming a matted and unkempt dog into a clean, well-groomed, and happy pup.
Right.
And knowing that you're contributing to their overall health and well-being is a great feeling.
It's like we get to be both artists and caregivers.
Exactly. And the relationships you build with the animals and their owners are truly special.
Yeah.
Seeing the joy on their faces when they pick up their freshly groomed pets is priceless. All right, should we wrap up part 2 of our deep dive and get you ready for the final stretch in part 3?
Let's do it. I'm eager to hear your final thoughts and insights. Right, so we've covered so much from, those different career stages to practicing those tricky behavioral questions. I feel like I've got this whole new toolbox for tackling this interview.
And remember, we've got one more ace up our sleeve, RoleCatcher's Copilot AI.
Yes.
We've touched on it throughout this whole deep dive, but I think it's worth circling back to really highlight how this tool can give you that extra edge.
Yeah, all ears. So it sounds like Copilot AI is not just for polishing your resume. It can actually help you prepare for the actual interview conversation itself.
Exactly. Think of it as your personalized interview strategist. You upload the job description and it goes to work, identifying those key skills and experiences that the employer is looking for.
So it's like having this expert eye scanning the job, pinpointing what the hiring manager cares about the most.
Precisely. But it goes beyond just highlighting those key words. Copilot AI actually uses its analysis to suggest relevant examples from your work history that you can use to answer those behavioral questions.
Oh, wow. So for instance, if the job description emphasizes customer service skills, Copilot AI might suggest I talk about that time I calmed down a frustrated client whose dog had a matted coat.
Exactly. It's about helping you connect the dots between your experiences and the specific needs of the role.
Right.
And remember those STAR method stories we practiced. Copilot AI can even provide feedback on your practice answers, suggesting ways to make them more concise, impactful, and aligned with the job requirements.
So it's like having a virtual mock interview with a super smart coach who knows exactly what this particular employer is looking for.
That's a great way to put it. It takes the guesswork out of interview preparation and allows you to focus on showcasing your passion and skills with confidence.
Okay, I'm starting to see how powerful this tool can be. It's not just about prepping answers. It's about strategically aligning yourself with the opportunity.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about technical skills, but remember, soft skills are equally important in this profession.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about those interpersonal skills like communication, empathy, and problem solving, right?
Exactly. Think about it. You're interacting with animals who can't speak for themselves.
Right.
And you're dealing with owners who are often emotionally invested in their pet's well-being.
That's a really great point. It's not just about giving a good haircut. It's about building trust, managing expectations, and handling, potentially stressful situations with grace and professionalism.
Precisely. So as you go into that interview, remember to showcase not only your grooming skills, but also those essential soft skills that will make you a valuable asset to any grooming team.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. This deep dive has been incredibly helpful. I feel so much more prepared and confident to tackle this interview and hopefully land my dream job as an animal groomer.
You've got this. Remember, your passion for animals will shine through. And with the preparation you've done, you'll be ready to impress any hiring manager. Best of luck.
And to our listeners, we hope you found this deep dive into the world of animal grooming insightful and empowering. Remember, with the right preparation and a genuine love for animals, you too can achieve your career goals. Good luck on your interview journey.